The air in Crestview Bank was filled with the usual sounds of a bustling financial institution, the soft whir of computers, the rhythmic tapping of keyboards, and the low murmur of conversations. It was a typical day, with well-dressed clients discussing high-stakes investments and the polished floors reflecting their ambitions. Yet, amid the hustle, a peculiar figure entered the bank, a frail old man named Arthur Collins. Arthur shuffled in slowly, his hands trembling slightly as he adjusted his worn, oversized hat. His face, etched with deep lines, bore the weight of a long life lived. With eyes that still sparkled with wisdom, he approached the receptionist, a young woman named Emily, who was engrossed in her work. "Excuse me, miss," Arthur croaked, his voice raspy but clear. "I'd like to speak with someone about an investment opportunity." Emily looked up, momentarily startled. She blinked at the old man, a hint of confusion crossing her face. "I'm sorry, sir, but this is a business-focused bank. We don't usually handle personal investments for individuals. Could you be more specific?" Arthur adjusted his glasses, the faintest hint of annoyance flickering in his eyes. "I know exactly what I want, young lady. It's urgent." Emily sighed, glancing at her watch. "Please take a seat over there," she said, gesturing to a row of empty chairs. "I'll see if someone can help you." Without waiting for a response, she returned to her computer. Arthur hesitated, his gaze flickering between her and the imposing marble counter. With a resigned sigh, he took a seat, his posture straight despite his age, clearly accustomed to being overlooked. As minutes ticked by, Emily occasionally glanced at him, her curiosity piqued. What could an elderly man possibly want in a bank like Crestview? Perhaps he had heard about their success and thought he could get in on some insider deal. She shook off the thought, returning to her tasks. Moments later, a tall figure approached, Michael Evans, the head of corporate investments. Michael was known for his sharp business acumen and quick rise within the bank. He exuded confidence as he addressed Emily. "Is everything okay?" "I was just about to send Mr. Collins over to you," Emily replied, her tone neutral. "He's waiting to discuss an investment opportunity." Michael raised an eyebrow. "Mr. Collins? Who's that?" "The elderly man sitting over there," Emily said, pointing to Arthur. Michael frowned, then strode over to Arthur, his demeanor shifting to one of practiced professionalism. "Good morning, sir. I understand you're here to discuss an investment opportunity." Arthur stood slowly, his eyes narrowing as he regarded Michael. "Yes, I am. I've heard this is a place where important matters are taken seriously." Michael smiled, though it felt rehearsed. "Of course, we handle the most prestigious clients in the industry. What sort of investment are you looking for?" "I'm not interested in the usual investments," Arthur replied cryptically. "I want something different, something that truly matters." Michael's smile faltered slightly, but he quickly masked it. "I'm sure we can find something suitable for you. Please follow me to my office, and we can discuss the details." Arthur followed Michael through the sleek, modern corridors of the bank, past glass walls showcasing portfolios and wealth projections. The office was minimalist, with a panoramic view of the city skyline. Michael motioned for Arthur to sit. "Please make yourself comfortable. Now tell me about your investment ideas." As Arthur settled into the chair, his eyes fixed on Michael, there was an intensity in his gaze that made Michael uneasy. "I have a proposal," Arthur said quietly. "One that might surprise you." Michael leaned forward, intrigued despite himself. "I'm listening." "I possess substantial wealth," Arthur continued. "Not in cash, but in something far more valuable. I'm interested in securing a place for it in your bank." Michael raised an eyebrow. "Wealth that's not in cash? What do you mean?" Arthur leaned in slightly, his voice dropping as if sharing a secret. "I want you to invest in a venture that will change the world. A business that no one knows about yet but that will grow into something enormous. I have the blueprint, but I need someone with your influence, someone with the resources of this bank to help me make it real." Michael felt a flicker of skepticism but also intrigue. This was not the pitch he had expected. "That sounds ambitious, but I'll need more details. If you want us to invest in this idea, I'll need to see proof." Arthur smiled faintly, his eyes glinting with something Michael couldn't quite place. "All in good time. For now, I have a simple request. I want you to take me seriously." Michael chuckled lightly, trying to mask his growing unease. "I assure you, I take all my clients seriously, but I need something concrete." Slowly, Arthur stood up, his movements deliberate. "Then let me show you something." He reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a small, weathered envelope, handing it to Michael. Curious, Michael opened the envelope, revealing a single sheet of paper. Written on it was a name, James Collins, a name that meant nothing to him until he noticed the emblem at the bottom, the logo of Crestview Bank's largest private investor. Michael's heart raced. This was significant. The old man had just handed him a key to something monumental. The connection was clear now, but as his eyes flicked up to Arthur, doubt gnawed at him. Why had he dismissed this man so easily? "Mr. Collins," Michael said, trying to regain his composure. "I'm afraid I don't fully understand what you're asking of me." Arthur didn't flinch. "I'm asking you to trust me. The world is changing, and this bank has the chance to be part of something that will redefine the future." Michael leaned back in his chair, frustration bubbling beneath the surface. "I'm afraid we'll have to decline. Your proposal is vague, to say the least." Arthur's eyes darkened, the spark of intensity now sharper. He looked past Michael, out at the skyline, as if contemplating something deeper. "You don't understand," he said softly. "This is bigger than anything you've ever dealt with." Feeling the pressure build, Michael cleared his throat. "Mr. Collins, I think we're done here. I'd appreciate it if you'd leave the premises." Arthur nodded, accepting the dismissal with a stoic demeanor. He turned and walked toward the door, his back straight and steps measured. As the door clicked shut behind him, Michael felt a sense of unease settle over him. Later that day, Michael couldn't shake the feeling that he had made a grave mistake. As he sat at his desk, the nagging doubt lingered. Had he just dismissed something monumental? Claire knocked softly on the door and entered without waiting for a response. "You all right, Michael?" she asked, sensing his unease. "Yeah, I'm fine," he replied, running a hand through his hair. "Just had to deal with a strange one, an old man who thinks he has a world-changing investment but nothing to back it up." Claire nodded, though her hesitation was evident. "Is everything okay? You look a little." "I'm fine, Claire. Just don't worry about it," he cut her off, trying to shake off the lingering doubt. As the day wore on, Michael found it harder to dismiss the old man's words. "Something that will redefine the future," the phrase echoed in his mind, twisting with implications he had yet to fully grasp. The next morning, Claire entered the office looking flustered. "Michael, you need to see this," she said, placing a thick folder on his desk. "I don't know how to explain this, but there's something you need to know." Michael raised an eyebrow, flipping through the pages. His pulse quickened as he read through confidential files sealed for decades. Among them was a name he had never expected to see, James Collins. The documents detailed the history of the bank's largest investor, revealing that James Collins had been involved in the creation of Crestview Bank, not just as a financial backer but as a key architect of its structure. The realization hit Michael like a punch to the gut. The old man he had dismissed wasn't just anyone, he was integral to the bank's foundation. "Claire," Michael said, a sense of urgency rising in his voice. "We've made a huge mistake. The man we kicked out, he's one of the pillars of this bank." Before Claire could respond, Michael's phone rang. He glanced at the screen, seeing an unknown number. "This is Michael Evans," he answered, trying to remain composed. "Mr. Evans, this is Harold Collins," came the voice on the other end. "We need to talk about my father." Michael's heart raced. I understand your concerns, and I want to assure you we're taking immediate steps to address this issue. There was a pause, then Harold's voice turned cold. You don't understand. My father is not just a valued figure, he's the backbone of this bank. When you treated him the way you did, you treated all of us that way. You've made the biggest mistake of your career. What do you want? Michael demanded, anxiety creeping into his voice. I want you to fix this. I want a public apology to my father. If you do this right, I might consider sparing Crestview Bank from the consequences of your actions. If you refuse, the fallout will be catastrophic. Do you understand? Michael nodded, though he was alone in the room. I understand. As the call ended, he turned to Claire, who was watching him intently. We need to find Arthur Collins now, he said, urgency in his voice. The following morning, Michael stood at his desk, anxiety coursing through him. He had been played and manipulated, and now with the truth revealed, he needed to act fast. Get the board members on the line, he ordered Claire. We need to meet immediately. As the meeting room filled with tense board members, Michael shared the evidence he had uncovered. Arthur Collins is a founding figure of this bank, and we need to make amends. Just then, the door opened, and Arthur entered. His presence commanded attention. I'm here to discuss how we can move forward, he said, his voice steady. Michael took a deep breath, ready to face the consequences of his earlier actions. Mr. Collins, I want to apologize for how I treated you. I didn't understand your significance. Arthur regarded him quietly before responding. I appreciate your honesty, Michael. But we need to focus on the future. The Collins family is prepared to support the bank, but trust must be rebuilt. With the board's backing, a plan was set into motion to restore the bank's integrity. As they worked together, Michael felt a renewed sense of purpose. The darkness that had loomed over Crestview Bank was finally lifting, giving way to a brighter future. In the end, Michael learned that true strength lies not in power or control, but in recognizing the value of relationships and the importance of trust. Together with Arthur Collins and the bank's leadership, he was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, ensuring that Crestview Bank would thrive once more.